Welcome to SBW Talks. Today we have Dr. Deepa Patani. She is a third-generation healer, doctor of pharmacy, and a certified functional medicine practitioner who bridges the worlds of science and soul. As the visionary behind Elevate Health Solutions, she helps high-performing professionals reverse chronic symptoms and reclaim balance through a unique blend of custom lab testing, breath work, energy, healing, and sacred ceremony. She has been featured in Forbes, Authority Magazine, Orlando Voyager, Dallas Voyager, Star Local Media, and has appeared on multiple podcasts and radio shows sharing her revolutionary approach to healing. She is the best-selling author of the book Story, Creating the Functional Medicine Revolution. Known for her grounded wisdom, intuitive guidance, and evidence-based care, Dr. Deepa Patani guides her clients through profound transformation rooted in both science and spirit. Welcome to SBW Talks, Dr. Patani. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much, Neela, for that lovely introduction and for having me on the podcast and for allowing me the opportunity to share a little bit about what I do. Thank you.
We're so excited. We're so excited. So let's go into our first kind of question. What is Elevate Health Solutions and how is it reimagining the path to healing for busy professionals?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So Elevate Health Solutions is, we like to call it, it's a sacred space where ancient healing wisdom meets traditional, or not traditional, but cutting edge functional medicine. And what I mean by that is traditional healthcare kind of focuses on chasing symptoms. But what we are doing is we uncover the root causes of what's behind burnout, autoimmune conditions, and just hormonal chaos. So our clients are usually high-achieving performers that are juggling work, they're juggling family, growing family, caring for elderly parents, just everything that life kind of hits you at the same time and excelling in their careers. So there's really no actual blueprint for how to live life and how to manage all the different things that get thrown at us and everything needing our time. So they are juggling multiple things at the verge of burnout or already are in burnout. And through a powerful blend of custom functional lab testing that we decide for them and then adding that with breath work, sound healing, energy healing, just help them to get to nervous system regulation. And then we can really help them come back to balance. And most of our clients wind up saying that I didn't even know that this kind of healing existed. So it's kind of very new.
That is so interesting. How did you get into all of this?
So I come from a family of healers, and for the longest time, I kind of had put that aside because I went into, we moved here, I went into pharmacy school, got my doctorate. So I was helping patients as a pharmacist first, and then I kind of discovered functional medicine to really help get to the root cause of how, the different imbalances that we go through. While I was kind of helping my patients through that, I had my own transformation when I actually went to Bali last year and really just learned about what energy healing does when you kind of combine the two, and had I kind of knew about it a little bit before, but it kind of, my own experience was kind of the driving force behind it. And it really, I feel like everything kind of came like a whole 360, and I was able to combine both of those healing modalities that my background was in and learn more about it then, and then kind of incorporate that along with the functional medicine that I was already practicing to kind of create Elevate.
Wow, that's amazing. And what is energy healing? Like, what is your definition of that?
So energy healing is when everything in the world that we kind of come in contact with has some sort of energy related to it. We are energetic beings. The earth has its own energetic magnetic field, and so does the universe and everything around. So when we are in balance with the world around us, we feel more at peace. And vice versa, when we're not in balance with the energy and the frequencies of the world around us, that's when we feel like our mind's not rested or our minds are pacing, we're not aligned with what we're doing. And so that's when we kind of help our patients and our clients to bring that together and be in balance with everything that's around them so that they can feel aligned on their paths, whatever those may be.
Wow. So is energy healing also like what you're going through on a mental and physical level, and it's combined together?
Correct. Yes. So physical level is through functional medicine testing, like cutting edge, depending on the client's symptoms, what they're going through. And then mental health is more about therapy sessions and things of that nature. And to that, we add an emotional level and then also a spiritual and an energetic level. So there's so many more modalities of healing that we haven't even scratched the surface to learn more about because we're such complex beings. So energy healing can include things like breath work and sound healing and Reiki therapy and acupuncture. Like all of those things, modalities can come together to help a person or get into balance with the energy around them and to be in balance with the earth and the universe and everything else around them.
Okay, wow. And I know you've been known for combining science with sacred practices. Science and sacred practices are like two different lanes. What inspired you to bridge those two worlds together?
So, yeah, for the longest time, it was very confusing times to kind of figure out what is that lineage that I come from. And so when I was finally traveling, and I did a lot of traveled the whole world and just met with so many people, have done so many different types of different healing modalities myself to just try different things out. And when I was in finally Bali, it was within my own transformation when I was going through my own breath work sessions to kind of work on myself and to get into those altered mind states where you are in a deep level of meditation where you are able to really figure out. And so that was the reason why I went on this retreat, because it was an entrepreneur's retreat. And what we were trying to figure out is to come from a place of alignment. And I've always been a very firm believer of there's nothing that you learn that ever gets wasted. So it was always in the back of my mind that, hey, I have this incredible lineage of being a healer. I have my pharmacy background. I have my functional medicine background. I have all these different backgrounds and I absolutely love like all of these things. So I was like, what am I doing? Which direction do I need to go in? How do I find myself into that alignment myself, And so then that's when Elevate was kind of born, because I was really able to bring the whole picture together and finally things started to click and make sense and was able to create. I realized that my clients were also craving more than just protocols. They were craving a connection to themselves. And just like everything else, you heal yourself, you kind of learn to heal your business or whatever else. Everything else in your life starts to heal as well. So that's how this whole transformation kind of came about.
Wow, that's amazing. You've helped hundreds of people heal in a deeply holistic way. Can you share one transformation story that stands out to you?
Yeah. There's so many. I'm trying to think of something. But yeah, so okay, one of the ones that really stands out is corporate CEO, female, juggling life, kids, her career, which she was very passionate about, at the verge of burnout, was kind of contemplating, like, am I going to have to pick one or the other? Do I have to give up my career so that I'm more present at home versus vice versa? And she was just really at the verge of breakdown and just burnout. And after going through our functional medicine lab testing, and we really helped her to regulate her nervous system, and she was able to prioritize both the things in a way and find balance to figure out where she needed to put her time and really become intentional with things. But ultimately, I feel like everybody needs to feel heard, seen, someone that can help guide the process of what is really truly aligned with what they want to accomplish. And for this particular client, she had built this career from scratch pretty much and was very passionate about it. So the thought of having to choose one or the other was causing a lot of stress as well, because she had just worked hard for it. And so coming into balance and really finding her place where like she could bring both of those worlds together was the biggest win for her. And one of the things I still remember she told me was that she had finally felt like she had come home to herself, like she wasn't feeling torn in all different directions after having gone through some of the nervous system regulation parts. So that was amazing. To me, that's everything.
Yeah. I mean, since you're talking about the nervous system regulation, how does nervous system regulation play into reversing chronic symptoms?
So yes, so our nervous system is really the gatekeeper to our entire healing process. We can take all the right supplements, we can eat the perfect perfect diet, but if our nervous system is stuck in that fight or flight mode, then our body simply won't heal. It doesn't matter how many things you're doing right, but until you're stuck in that fight or flight mode, the body is just not ready to receive any of the other healing that it's getting. So at Elevate, we combine that, the evidence-based tools like breath work. It's no longer considered like woo-woo like it used to be a couple of years ago. There's really a lot of research and clinical data available for tools like breath work, sound healing, and even energy and Reiki healing. So when we kind of guide our patients slowly into those to really help their nervous systems shift back into that rest and restore mode. And that's where you see the magic comes together. Everything starts to click. Inflammation starts to drop. Digestion is all of a sudden improved. They're finally absorbing the nutrients from the foods that they're eating. And the body finally begins to repair itself. So it's really fun to watch the whole transformation come together.
Wow. So you have to basically first get your nervous system right to achieve like the physical aspect of it. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Being able to sleep well at night, and that's when our body is really repairing ourselves. So many of our clients, when they come to us, their sleep patterns are completely altered just from their high stress cortisol levels that are just peaking at nighttime when they're supposed to be peaking during the daytime. And it causes a lot of imbalance, and they're not able to get into that deep restorative state where their body can actually heal.
I think sleep is so important that we take for granted. People go to bed at like midnight, they're up at 5, 6. I feel like that's when the brain needs to relax from all
Yes.
of the work we've been through, mentally, physically. It's just a time to rest.
Yeah, and I think that, that's to kind of show how to put that into perspective too. The earth also has a cycle, right? It has it's a diurnal cycle. Like the morning the sun is out, and then like that night when the moon is out, or the sun is set already. And that really needs to work with our own body's diurnal clock system. So when that works well together and comes into balance, it just kind of works and everything starts to click into place. Like certain levels need to increase at night, or beginning the nighttime, versus the cortisol and things should start to increase into our bloodstream starting 5, 6 a.m. so that we're ready to handle the day. But then towards the end of the day, that cortisol level needs to start dropping. Melatonin starts to keep rising. But it's very chaotic for a lot of people when you're working different shifts. For example, for people that might be working night shifts and that are just on their screens a lot, or have not checked out of that mode of go, go, go until later in the night, then the melatonin doesn't seem to understand like what's happening. Like I'm kicking in, but this person's not ready to wind down yet. So then it starts to help us by pushing the cortisol back out. And then now you're awake and now you're not able to sleep.
Some people don't know what melatonin is and cordo. What did you just say? Cordo. Yes,
so
what
those
is
are
that?
hormones in our body. So those are hormones in our body. Our body's really such a complex organ. It has a way of helping us to figure out like, okay, this is the daytime. Now you have to get up. You have to do things during the day. So that's when cortisol is also like our stress hormone, right? So a little bit of stress is really important because it helps us to get up and go, right? So that we're not just laying around in bed all day, not doing anything, not accomplishing anything. So we do have to perform every day, right? So we have to get up. And so cortisol is the stress hormone that our body kind of releases towards the morning. The problem happens is when our lives now are not as simple as they used to be. With all the technology that's out there and everything that we're working on every single day, our bodies are getting confused with when do I wind down? So that's when melatonin kicks in. Melatonin is our hormone that helps our body to start falling, getting tired. I'm going to try to get into bed. I'm going to get a good night's rest. So melatonin starts to kick in during the evening hours as the sun sets. That's how our body was originally supposed to be functioning. But now with things changing, the body doesn't know how to adjust. And so that's where we come in, where we can help with that adjustment again and finding a way to bring that back into balance so that your body can finally
I'm
adjust.
sure a lot of people don't know this, why sleep is so important, why we go to bed at night, why we wake up in the morning. It's all a cycle. And I love how you put how the earth also goes to sleep,
Yeah. So, and that's how like being in balance with nature and the universe and the earth around you. So everything can be on that same frequency. That's when I mentioned earlier in the podcast that we help align those frequencies come into balance, and that's when we see the real healing starting to come together.
Yeah, and again, I think we all take sleep for granted, but it's just our body and our mental being needs that rest to get up for
Correct.
the next
Yeah.
day.
And the quality of that
Quality.
rest is important. Yes.
Do you also believe in afternoon siestas? I know back in the day in India we would sleep. I know in European countries we don't do that in this country.
No, we're always about stress in this country. We are never about rest. But I am a strong believer of just listening to your body. A lot of times our body does try to communicate with us when it needs that rest. We have just become so used to ignoring the pleas of our body that then it has to resort to shouting at us. And what I mean by that is that's when until we start seeing some symptoms like, oh my God, I'm getting palpitations, like, oh my God, I can't sleep, or oh my God, I can't remember anything that I was doing, or why did I come into the kitchen? Why did I walk in here? Like, until we kind of see some of those symptoms, we're not really doing anything about it, which is why our body's screaming for attention, because it needs us to pay attention at that first mark. But a lot of times we've just become so used to ignoring ourselves and our needs that because of the culture that we're in. So yeah, if your body feels that you need a quick, 10-minute power nap, go ahead.
Yeah.
Give your body what it's asking for. It's not going to set you back for so long. And it can actually help people be more productive if they're well rested for the rest half of the day.
Right. I know. I think that is so needed. I think people don't rest. And a lot of people are embarrassed to take a nap, but they should, like if your body is asking for
Yeah.
you to rest for 10, 15 minutes for a power nap, go do it. I think you made such a good point
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah.
And then tell us about your Sedona retreat that you're organizing.
Oh my God, yes. So excited about that. So we're hosting a very intimate transformational retreat in Sedona, May 1st through May 4th. It's and the reason why we picked Sedona was because Sedona is one of the most energetically powerful places on earth. And the reason behind this is, as I was mentioning, the earth also has an energy field, right? So the earth's energy lines are called the ley lines. And where these ley lines intersect, it creates these powerful energy vortexes. And so places where these energy lines are intersecting, Sedona is one of the places where it does intersect. So it creates these powerful vortexes for energy, so you can really go to those places for deep healing. So the retreat is actually designed for very high performing women who are ready to release that burnout and realign with their purpose, find a way forward, find a way to really balance everything. It's a really great kickoff point. Wanted to keep it very intimate, no more than 5 people. And we only have one spot left, I think, right now. So this is just for someone who's ready to experience those sacred ceremonies, some real deep healing, and to leave the retreat with a reset nervous system and a renewed clarity. So not a weekend, but it's almost like a rebirth of what your next life, what you want to do and accomplish, and coming from a real place of clarity and alignment with your soul.
Wow.
So
That
very
seems
excited.
like, yeah, seems relaxing, but at the same time, you kind of can find yourself.
Yeah, you do. Yes, that's why we kept it the sacred ceremonies and the healing practices and the blessings, that ceremonies that we perform at these retreats. It really does help you to connect, not with and the reason I said connect with your soul and not from a place of coming from your ego. Like, it's really, a lot of times we just get so caught up with like, I have to accomplish this and I have to accomplish that. But why? What is your reason for why do you want to accomplish this? And so when you keep asking those questions over and over, but why? Like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to do something good for the community, but why? Well, because I want to give something back, but why? And when you keep doing that and really getting to that core of what that why is, and it really helps us to uncover our deeper purpose for why we're here. So when you do all your work with that intention and that purpose behind it, then it really helps to bring back that motivation back into your life. It really helps to not procrastinate anymore because you have this new fire inside you that really guides you, towards your higher purpose, towards you're coming from such a place of alignment. And sometimes we don't just have the time to do that when we're in the day-to-day ruts. Like, you just have to remove yourself for a few days, be in those places of healing where you can really journal, really get your thoughts down, really have the time to dive deep within, and really come from that place of love.
Right. And I think a lot of people need to realize that you need to dive into yourself, what you said. I think a lot of people tend to stay away from that. Like, they're just going day to day, but they don't want to dive into their healing physically and mentally.
Yes, because it's scary. It's because our brain is very good at compensating. And what I mean by that is, most of our clients, they're super high achievers, right? That means they're constantly go, go, go. Our brains are processing so many things in a day, right? Like, if we have meetings after meetings, we're making this 18 decisions every minute. We just, and if someone in that or during that day said something or did something, or our patient levels are down, so maybe we snapped at somebody, whatever it was, right? Like, all those different small incidences that happen during the day, our brain just doesn't have the time to process that because it just marks it as not important, have 18 other things to do. And so it suppresses it. Well, it doesn't go anywhere. It goes all inside our body, right? Like, we're not processing all those different things that happen during the day. And the reason why is because our brain just doesn't have the time to cope with it. Also, it's afraid for us to see the truth. And I might lose a few people on that. So let me clarify that a little bit. We need to feel safe in our own bodies before we can look within, because
That's
we
so
hold so much inside. We hold so much inside, and our brain doesn't know, hey, if I bring this little bit of trauma up, will this person be able to handle it? Will they still be able to perform? Because the performing has become so important that I cannot risk this person going into like a breakdown because I reminded them of something. So we really have to make our minds feel safe that, hey, you can trust me to be able to deal with these emotions. Like, I'll be able to deal with these feelings, and that takes some time. It takes some practicing. It takes some breath work and just being one with yourself slowly. And then your brain might give you like just small doses of things, like, why did so and so say this, or why did so and so, like, just small doses to really test you to see, like, are you really going to be able to deal with this, or are you sure you can handle this? And so slowly, once you build that trust with yourself, because we've been so used to ignoring ourselves.
right.
So slowly you have to build that trust with yourself first before you can really dive in deeper.
Wow, this
I
is
hope that
so
makes
profound. Very nice. Yeah,
sense.
I think you have to first, as you said, heal yourself first and then maybe help others. Because I think
Yeah.
again, you have to look at yourself from within and then go forward with other people. And then, what's one simple step someone listening right now can take to begin their healing journey with you?
Yeah, so I've actually created a free manifestation breathwork session that people can access on our website. It's a beautiful place to start. It only takes about 20 minutes of your time, but it can instantly shift your energy. It can bring clarity. And from there, we can help guide you through our signature Elevate Reset kit and other things that we offer. But this is a good first step to kind of see how you feel and how calm how it doesn't take that much time to really reset our nervous system. So it's a really great first step. It's not something very heavy. It's a manifestation one. It's really about just creating a wonderful life that you might have already imagined, and to really help you along those lines. So it really helps to take that power back, and then we just meet people exactly where they are in their journeys.
Wow. Yeah. No, this was great. And what's the biggest myth you wish people understood about true healing?
That healing is linear, or that it's all about diet and supplements. True healing is about integration, right? It's about listening to our body. It's about understanding our own patterns. And then it's also about letting go of what's not serving us anymore. Maybe a couple of years ago, we had to change our personality or something because we were in those situations where we had to fight for something, or we were maybe in survival mode. But it's about constantly looking at where we are now, and what changes we need to make. How do we continue to grow? And what is not serving us anymore? What's holding us back now from that growth, right? So constantly analyzing our lives to see where do I need to grow and what do I need to let go? Because we're always shedding. It's not about what you do, it's about who you're becoming as a person and evolving. At Elevate, we don't just hand you some protocol, we walk with you into that whole new way of living so that you can live a life full of purpose and just being true to yourself.
Wow. Dr. Patani, tell us, how do you, I mean, you're a very calming presence. You know, your voice, your
Thank
demeanor.
you.
Yeah, very calming. When I speak to you, it's almost like a Reiki. I could feel calm. I don't know what you did. Just your demeanor and your voice is so soothing. And I think that
Thank
really
you.
matters in what you're doing. Because I'm like, I was a little like, when I first started, I had like so much going on. And then as I sat with you, I started calming down. Like you have a positive effect on
Thank
people.
you.
Yeah. So I don't know if you knew that, but your demeanor and your
No, I didn't
voice,
know that.
and that could be a little bit of the Reiki, as you said, that's coming out. Do you think maybe?
I mean, it's energy, like I said. When you kind of start coming into that frequency with yourself and with everything around you, you emanate that, right? So and that doesn't mean like, so there are so many practices, and I'm sure that you've experienced that as you are currently experiencing right now. But, when we come across, or when we're in the presence of certain negative people, and then when we come home, we feel kind of drained and tired. Have you noticed that
Yes,
before?
yes, yes.
And so it's the same kind of thing. And what is that? Like, that was an exchange of energy. So
Okay.
it's really important to learn like how to, and I teach a lot of my clients like how to clear your energy when you come into contact with those certain types of people. Because we can't just cut everybody out of our lives. Just can't do
Right.
that, right? There's going to be all different kinds of people that we come into contact with. So at the end of the day, like, how do you cleanse your energy so that you're not bringing home all this different things that you're coming in contact with? Cleansing of that,
Cleansing. And I
cleansing
think
of,
now I understand what do you say when when you do speak to high achievers, because they're meeting so many different personalities in a day and they're absorbing all.
yeah, all of us are. Even if you're just going to the grocery store and running into someone, right? Like, I mean, you could have either a positive exchange at the cash register or a negative one. Like, somebody cuts you off when you're driving, like it's day, right? Like our regular normal day, like, whenever you're going through things, we're energetic beings. And I don't think that we spend enough time to understand that, or, like realize that maybe we're just too busy that we take a lot of the things for granted.
Yeah, no. And tell people, okay, what's your website, your Instagram handle, Facebook, all of that. Please give that so our viewers know where to go.
Yes. My website is drdeepapatani.com, and my Instagram is also dr.deepa.patani. And I do run a private Facebook group as well. It's called Healing Pre-Autoimmune and Autoimmune Naturally. So it's a private group, it's a safe space for you to ask questions and see how, whatever symptoms or things that you might be experiencing, because we are those beings, right? Like, if I was just told now, like, oh, go do this, like, we're not gonna be inclined to make those changes. But when everything's going wrong in our lives, we all of a sudden realize, oh my God, my health is so important, right? But and that's okay. Like, we've all been there, we've all done the let's do some crash diet like a month before a wedding, just to like fit into those clothes. We've all done that, and that's completely fine. But I'm sure that like during that month, like, we realized like, oh man, if I just maintain this would be so much easier. I felt so much better when I did that. Or, like, just so these are all like little few glimpses that we get to see, when we try to do something, even for a little bit. And then at least we know what we kind of enjoy, what we liked it. And we have like our higher self version that we want to aspire to, little glimpses.
You need
Thank
to
you.
come back after your Sedona trip. Maybe we can do a part 2 and you can tell us what you experienced on that retreat.
I would love to. I mean, we can even do one for Bali. Bali it was a rebirth. That's why I say that it is, because, and I don't want to scare anyone away, but it wasn't, I didn't go there with very many expectations. I really went there expecting like to have some clarity, because we just moved. I own several businesses and I wasn't sure, am I keeping all the businesses? Am I letting them go? Do I want to get just a job just to kind of settle into the new place? Like, what is it that my next step needs to be? And that's why I really went there. And I just was hit with all this healing that I didn't even know I needed, because from the outside, life's really kind of perfect. You have a good home, good kids, everything's working well, you own businesses, you're running those well, you're successful. And that's most of our clients. They're like, I don't know what's even wrong, because all my labs came back normal, but I can't remember things. I'm not sleeping well. I'm exhausted. I'm like snapping at my children. Like I don't understand like what's happening. This is not me. Like, this was not me. So, but all the lab tests come back normal. So they're like, but something's off, and I feel it, and that's exactly, it's a good stepping point at that point to be like, hey, let's dig a little deeper to see what else might be going on. And no matter, like, don't just start on Zoloft,
Yeah,
because when we
yeah.
go to our doctor, they're like, oh, you're the same as every other 40-year-old woman. Like, your life is the same as every other 40-year-old woman, 40 plus. And here's Zoloft. It'll just make you happy. And if it's necessary, sure, do it. But don't make that like a crutch,
Yeah. Find yourself from within, how you can heal and then help heal others. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Patani. You've been so great. Thank you to our viewers for watching and viewing and hearing. We will give all of Dr. Patani's information if you want to talk to her. I think you take private appointments as well.
Yes, I do everything virtually. So everything is private. I have clients all over the country, and even some in different countries.
Yeah. So we're going to give you all her information. So if you want to get in touch with her, please do. And thank you, Dr. Patani. We're so excited to have you, and you did great. And hopefully we'll do a series 2 with you.
Thank you so much, Neva. I really had fun this morning.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.